Oh. 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 What the hell is that? Wow, that was a bit much. Okay, let me put on these. All right, I got you in my good ear. Hey, I get a little bit of a lag on me. Really? I hear I hear an echo. I had a delay. I've got a delay going on. I can live with it. Who's this? Amanda. Hey, Amanda. Oh man. Oh man. That is weird. Let me. Let me Ted, you guys haven't met? I thought you guys had talked and met. No. Oh, Ted, Amanda, Ted. Oh man. Yes, I am. And it's like I'm stoned. Yeah, it's really odd and distracting. I can live with it. Okay? I just have to pretend I'm 21 again. I hear it. What could I do? What Yeah, I've got a lag going on. You know what? I think it may be that I'm gonna try this. Huh, okay, okay. All right. Wait. Can you hear me? Uh, okay, got it. It was me. I had three or four windows open up. All right.
All right. And I don't see. Oh, there she is. Okay. Amanda, we're on. We're all live. We're all on screen now, on camera,
I,
on the world.
it's kind of strange. I came on as a guest, and I got to see the drawing. Huge. That was so cool. I was thinking about just coming on as a guest.
Yeah, I put. Well, when we go to the live with the three of us, I put. Okay, Amanda, on your screen there should be a pull-out window on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Yeah. I can see the private chat, and then it looks like there's an option for Twitch chat, and
right.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to watch that Twitch chat just in case anybody chums in, but I don't see anybody right at this moment yet. I'm watching it.
The two of you have a lot in common. You, Ted and you. You have a lot in common.
Okay, you say. I don't even know, but all right. Hang on a second. I'm trying to fix something here.
Oh, there's a ranger.
Oh, look, Ted. Now.
All right, there. All right.
See?
Oh, look at that. Yep.
Look at that. Check it out, man. You guys got a lot in common. Ted does portraits of animals also for friends.
No, I don't. No. You know, oh God, this is great because this will fit in with our topic today, which is motivation. But forget all that.
Motivation.
Yeah. You know what? Now I'm gonna have to start drinking because see, we've already got off track.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Oh,
hello,
Amanda. Thank you. Wait, I'm talking.
Can I just introduce everybody?
Oh, yeah, go ahead and introduce Amanda.
Thank you. Jeez, man. Okay. Welcome to Unsellable Beta. That's Ron Moya, Maddie Duchamp. I'm Ted Washington. And our guest today is Amanda how do you pronounce it? Kazemi?
Yep. Kazemi. Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right, Kazemi. Yeah, got it right on the first shot. All right.
Yeah.
And we're very stoked to have Amanda with us because we have so much in common, according to Ron. Ron froze, and he doesn't know he's frozen. Ron has a horrible internet connection. Do you have good internet? Apparently you do because you're going well.
I think so. I hope so.
Yeah, you're doing good. Anyway, he's coming back now. That's what happens. He'll drop out. He's coming right back.
Oh, okay.
And we'll let Ron take over now.
You know what? I thought I had
Ron,
good
you can go ahead and
internet.
Okay, there you go.
I just thought it was you.
No, it's you. It's
Okay.
always you, Ron. Okay, you good now, Ron. We introduced everybody. Go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
Wow, I really actually forgot. I panicked, folks. Listen, I panicked. I got kicked out of the room, and it really does break my train of thought.
Yeah.
But okay, so first I want to say thank you. I am going to draft a letter to your principal.
You should. I mean, I told him it's still on the hush hush.
I know what that is all about because my principal told me the same thing because, I told him I wanted to go part-time and he says, well, we're going to do it this. I don't know if we should be saying this on air because it's like, I don't want to say it. Okay. I understand. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to get anyone in trouble. Okay, so Ted, go on.
No, man, I'm on the outside looking in on this because I don't have any principal.
All right.
Okay. Well, on a side note, I have my dogs and they like to bark a lot. So if I periodically mute myself, that's why.
No, don't mute yourself. Let the dogs bark.
Yeah, let them bark.
Okay. Yeah, let's just add to the show.
When they start barking, we'll just put up one of these.
Yeah, who is it? We'll play again.
Gaia.
Yeah, she's right here by me.
It's just, and one of the reasons why I like showing this is just to show a certain, your work is just impeccable. I've always been jealous of it. Really, I have. It's kind of like Ted's work. I don't tell him this because I don't want it to go to his head, but I'm envious of his work, what he does, and the patience it takes. And it's also the same with yours. Just, I look at it and I'll zoom in on like a 1-inch area and just study it and go, oh my God, the amount of patience it takes to create these images. And then as many as you have, and then I start seeing paintings that have the same kind of attention to detail that I get blown away. And then I get mad because... Because that's how shallow I am.
And then I get mad. I love it. Yeah. That's great.
I upset myself too a lot. So.
Why? How do you upset yourself?
I think sometimes when I start, like I have a vision or I have an idea about something, I'm like, oh yes, that would be good. But then I get to working on it, I'm like, this was a big choice, and there's a lot of commitment that goes into it once I start because I can't back out.
No, that's what I was saying. That's why you guys have a lot in common. That's a statement you would make.
Yeah.
So you basically, if you start, you finish.
Yes.
You don't have any half-done pieces sitting around?
I think I used to, but within the last 3 or 4 years, I've been super committed. I think there's only been one drawing that I was like, this is terrible. So I probably ripped it up. I can't. I was gonna say when I was younger, I still felt like a neophyte in the art world. But I remember when I was really starting out, and other artists would always ask me, "What are you doing? How do you do it?" And I always say the number one thing is finish something. Yeah.
Because I used to always hate when I walk up to people and go, I do art. And they go, well, show me a piece. And they go, well, this one's in the works and this one's in the works. I'm like, well, you have one? Show me one. One. Just one. Mm-hmm. And Ron is froze again.
No,
he's not moving. He's just not moving. I love it. Right.
Sorry, I was hibernating. I was just enthralled with the conversation.
But I used to always tell people, just finish something. Something that you can say, I finished, and here is a piece of art. Because you can't show any art that's unfinished. Oh, you can show art that's unfinished. You can, but it's hard to show people work when you don't have any work to show anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And I used to have notebooks like that with stuff that was just kind of half done. And then, I don't know how it started, to be honest with you. At some point, I was just enthralled when I did finish something. And so now I typically will.
So you say you're enthralled. What do you mean by that? Because I have a notion of it, but I want to hear it from you.
I think when I say enthralled, it's excited that the idea went from a vision or a feeling that I had, and it got from my mind. Sometimes, because sometimes the ideas in my mind are so abstract, and so to articulate that artistically, and in a way that I feel is effective, I suppose, in my own mind, is I suppose it's nice to me to get from such an abstract point to a more flushed out version, if that
Do,
makes sense.
do you have a sense of sadness when you finish?
I do.
I knew it, man. See, we might share that because then the journey is over.
Yeah, well, what's interesting too is lately, I think within the last year, the pieces that I've been doing, there are things in them that I am seeing the meaning of them as they started changes when I look at them again. And I'm almost asking myself, well, what did I mean by that? Or what did I mean by that when I'm looking at some of the symbolism within it?
Well, let's look at the one we got up here right now. What's going on here?
Let's see if I can pull it out.
It's the two ladies facing one another. I think they're the same woman, but
yeah. So this piece I finished last year around December, so later last year, and it's called Gray Fractal. And I provided like a very short description of kind of what I was envisioning for this piece, or I suppose the meaning of it. And let's see. So yeah, this piece is called Gray Fractal, and it's kind of a personal piece in that it had to do with surrendering ourselves to the universe, really, or whatever some people say, God, or whoever, but I describe the world around me as the universe. And I guess the idea here for me is that each of these things within here symbolize something different. Oh man.
Okay, Ron, you're frozen. Just throw that out there. If he didn't hear it, now he knows. Yeah. I'm gonna get back into mine as well. That's a good idea right there. Okay. Look, the thing that got me more than anything else was the hand positioning. Yeah. What's going on with the hands? What's going on there?
Yeah, so that's particular, right? If you look a little bit past the hands, you'll see that it's like a shadow puppet to make a bunny.
Uh-huh. Oh, I see the bunny. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that abstracted shape in the background, and so. But what is the hand?
Let's see. What do the hands mean?
What I mean, I just want to know. You're throwing up some signs there.
Yeah. Well, for this, it was really about how people look at things. The lens that we look at things through can be so different. while we're looking at the same thing, right? It can be this hands in these strange, ways, but it can either be just the hands or it can be a shadow that creates something new. And so I guess it's kind of talking about how our perception of things changes and can be so different. And that's kind of the thing with the dualed images, is that it's the same image, but you're still how it's perceived and how it's understood can change depending on who you are and experiences that you've had.
I take it this piece is pretty important because you named your Instagram page Gray Fractal. So I assume this piece must have some great meaning to you then.
Yeah, I'd say so. It's a piece that really talks about me surrendering to want a sense of wanting to have so much control over aspects of my life that I realize I don't necessarily, I wouldn't, even if I wanted to, have control over those things. And so this piece is kind of accepting that and illustrating that sort of point, in that there's only so much that we can control, and the rest that we really have to come to a place of solace with.
I was just going to ask. Sorry, go ahead, Ted.
No, go on.
I was just going to ask, because you're talking about letting go, but there's such precision in the work, and I was just wondering, do you allow the work to draw itself or create itself? Do you ever give it that much? Do you ever surrender control? Because they're so precise.
Yeah.
So it's like, when I'm looking at it, I know that's what you envisioned.
Right.
Or I believe that's what I believe. You envision that, and you feel this, and it's there's that ecstatic quality to it. It's just like you were talking about being amazed when you get done. You guys are relieved. When I finish a work, I'm in a panic. It's like, oh my God, can I do it again?
It's not really. We both said there's a degree of sadness, though. There is.
Yeah, but sadness and panic are different.
Yeah.
I think I have more panic when I'm not doing art than when because when I'm not doing art, something's wrong.
But I really, I got what you meant, because I put it in much simpler terms. Like, when I would finish something, I would look at my hands and go, oh my God, I cannot believe my hands created that. It's just such a feeling of absolute accomplishment.
Yeah.
That you can do this, and not everyone can, even though I'm wrong now that I go on Instagram. There are billions of people doing it. I'm not so special after all.
Instagram ruined it for everybody. Thought they were like, I'm the shit, man. I'm the shit. Oh, no. There's lots of shit out there.
Ow, man, that hurt. People love my work. A few,
No, man. Hey, my other question I had was, so is this a self-portrait?
It's not. And the irony is that I really try. I don't think I've ever drawn myself in any of my pieces, but I have gotten time and time again.
I thought there was a lot of pieces in here with your face in it.
It's not. Well, okay. So
it's a self-portrait.
Yeah, it wasn't intentional, but I do find that that's kind of, I don't know, maybe because I see myself the most of anybody, somehow that translates into what I draw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm going to change the art. Whoa, I'm going to change the artwork. Hang on a second. I'm going to change the artwork, and then I'm going to have to update the stream. Just hang on a second. I'm going to go get the art. Let's see here. Okay, go get this. Get rid of that. Go here. Hey, I'm getting better at this. We're all learning as we do this thing. I'm learning how to do all of this at the same time, all the time. Which one should I go to next? Here, we'll go to this one. If it shows up. Where did it go? Yeah, there we go. Okay, I just did the art differently here. This should be coming up soon. There we go. Come on. Anyway, back to what we're talking about, motivation, what we should be talking about, waiting on our. And Ron, are you frozen again? Ron, stop it. Ron, we got to get Ron some tighter internet.
I know. I can't even imagine what it's like in his classes right now over Zoom.
Oh, God. Are you a teacher as well?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
And a damn good one.
That explains the whole principal thing, because I didn't know what you guys were talking about there. I was like, what's this whole principal thing talking about?
Yeah. We're caught in that cabal.
Yeah.
It's our cult.
This
principal.
I'm actually. Oh, there it goes. Okay, come on.
I'm waiting for.
I don't know why the piece of art didn't show up. It's not showed up on the screen, and I'm waiting for it. Where is it?
I'm just going to keep
the one with the face with the arrows
myself
down to the
like
bottom
this.
and the hand.
So you guys can tell if
I'm telling you, the hand thing got me.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't know why this piece is not showing up. Hang on a second, everyone. Don't go anywhere. I'm going
Amanda, is your work considered surrealistic?
Update my stream.
That's how I would, in most simplest terms, I think that's how I would identify it.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't quite invented and or found a genre that I can be like, yes, that's what it is.
That isn't important to you, is it?
Well, I have a couple pieces like that. But hang on one second. I'm going to reboot this whole stream here because I can't get the art.
Wow. Now you're all by yourself.
I know.
Now it's just you and me. We got rid of him.
I see him on the little screen.
Oh, really? Oh, I see him too. Look how tiny he is. Because I was just wondering when I looked at the one that says detached.
Okay, I'm back. Are you back?
I am. Are you back?
Are you?
Amanda, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Ron, are you there?
No, I'm frozen.
Oh, no. But the art won't show. I am really bummed out about this, man, that the art is not showing. I don't know why it won't show, and it's making me mad. Oh, there it goes.
There it is.
Finally.
Oh, let me look at that one, too. I like that one.
Okay. Now
that's Days by Moonlight.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole point of the show is so we can see the art and talk about artwork. That's what we're here for. Now, this one doesn't look clearly to me as much as a self-portrait as the other one did. What's going on here? Go ahead.
This piece is called Days by Moonlight. I took the title of the piece from a book called Days by Moonlight by Andrei Alexei, and this piece was actually extreme. I mean, I don't know. I suppose all my work is pretty personal, but more so this year, I'd say it's more a look at sort of where my headspace is. And so this one is, I shared quite a bit about what the meaning of it was on my Instagram, but this one is really about self-love and about what my notions of love and self-love used to be versus what they are now, and how to create that space within yourself to feel that, and how this idea of healing and growing in my mind had always been something that was this beautiful transformative moment, really positive. You have all these people around you. It's almost like it's a rebirthing, right? But what I've realized that is actually it's incredibly painful to grow and to learn lessons, and difficult, at least in my experiences. And so with that, I think what can come of it are you learn to protect yourself and you learn to care for yourself. And there are lots of different symbolic elements within that talk about kind of the healing process, where you are now, how to not really answering the question of how to love yourself, but more just that this is a moment in time.
Is that the reasoning for the weaponry in it? And I see the knife. It's almost as if it's in a defensive position where it's out in front of you. But the arrows, I was really interested in the arrows. There's three of them, and they look very archaic.
Yeah. Well, the knife the reason it has the eye on it is sort of like you're protecting yourself, not necessarily physically with an actual weapon, but with your higher self.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of this third eye idea there. And then the weapon, that's interesting that you say archaic, because I did look up specifically indigenous arrows,
Mm-hmm.
and that was kind of a calling on calling on your ancestors to provide you also knowledge and insight
Uh-huh.
to help you through whatever is happening.
Does your artwork ever like harken back to your own cultural background, historical cultural background? Is it evident in here?
It is. So I am Mexican, Iranian, and indigenous as well. So I've got all of those aspects of it. So for this, definitely calling in it with the arrows, specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Ted.
No, go Ron.
No. Sorry, it was.
I didn't forget my question. You go ahead, because I
No, I'm sorry. I've already forgotten my.
Yeah. No. Okay. Basically, is this. Since we are talking about motivation, why this piece? Why do you do art?
I think that would have been a question that terrified me a long time ago, but I was thinking about it in the context of creating art, and I think what really motivates me is learning, growing, and I think with art, it's one of those things that allows me to at least process that. And to me, that's motivating. It's the thing that keeps me going. It's the thing that keeps me grounded. It's the thing that um, I can flesh out, because I think verbally or even written language, I definitely struggle with when describing my work, but that feeling that perhaps can be undescribable sometimes is what I try to reflect in my work.
Huh. I just wanted Ron is frozen again. See, this is why I wanted him to ask his question first, because he's going to forget while he's gone in the frozen land. He's going to come back right now. Here he comes, and he's not going to remember what his question was.
No, because I have a new question.
Ron, do you remember your question?
Yes. Yes, I do. I do remember my question. So you are kind of motivated by the quest to learn. Is that fair to say? I mean, is that what motivates you? I mean, that like I'm your work is so personal that it's almost like now I feel uncomfortable about looking at them, because it's almost like looking at an interpretation of a moment on the couch with your psychoanalyst or something. It has that kind of, you want to know what every aspect is, but then I don't know if I should know. And go ahead. I'm sorry. Oops.
I was just gonna say, I think that's the thing with my art, is that it is extremely personal, but I don't, and I think I hesitate to share a lot about it, not because I am uncomfortable to share it, but more so because I while I do hope that people can get the general meaning of what it is I'm creating, I more so am more curious to know how other people are interpreting that and taking it in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I always like to hear, what is it that you're seeing here?
It's so funny because your work is it's just weaved. It's just a what am I trying to say here? It is an immense layering of images, and they all feel symbolic. So I'm looking at them, and they have an order of appearance, and I think for the viewer, especially for a viewer like me, who is absolutely curious about every little thing I'm looking at, because like I've told you, when I've told the kids about doing their work, I say every mark matters. Yeah. Everything you put in there matters. And there's a lot of matter in your work, and I'm looking at it, and I want to decipher every element, because when you were talking about your heritage, I had forgotten that you're Latina and you're indigenous and you're in your Iranian too, and the Iranian part is really interesting to me, because that's kind of my hobby, paleoanthropology, and we're always studying that part of the world, and so I'm looking at this and I'm going, I mean, what is she dredging up for us to see, and historically, where does this, how do I interpret this, but I guess there's no real get it. It's just like, I think it provokes, like somebody like me, it provokes me to look at it, and I could spend all day looking at it,
With that in mind, do you think about composition? Because I look at this piece and it has a great degree of making your eye travel across the paper. Especially coming from the moon and the clouds up top to the hand being in the foreground, coming right out at you, especially going in the opposite direction of where the arrows are going.
Yeah.
Is that intentional?
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
I really try to avoid putting things in the center of a piece, but because of what I was putting together in this particular drawing, I needed to make sure that anybody who's looking at it didn't stop right at her face. And I mean, her face is super striking as it is. Like, it was a beautiful reference photo that I had, but I did want people to look at each element of it. Because again, too, the hands are really important in this, and that, you kind of start perhaps empty-handed relatively in a growth cycle, right? And then it changes, and then how you use the tools change and transform over time. And that's sort of that idea with the hands evolving at the top.
So the message is from the bottom up, not from the top down.
Correct.
Wow. See, I look at it from the top going down.
Interesting.
Because that's how you read the page, I guess.
I kind of come top down too, but then now that you say it's bottom up, it just flows really nice. I can just feel that hand coming up and then starting to pull the pedal.
Yeah. And so, what's interesting is I feel like you could really interpret this either way, because, if you're looking at it from the top, and that this is the self-protection, it's almost, we look at a weapon and it has the ability to do harm, but if we're really talking about self-love, it's a protection that's in a way that would embolden us. And so it's taking this harmful thing up here and moving to a point where we're just at peace, and we're not we're open.
Yeah, well, you have to let go.
Right.
You have to let go. I mean, that's a big part of art in itself, because to get to the next piece, you have to let go of the last one.
Gotta let go, yeah.
I gotta let go, man. And that's what I'm saying. That's how I read it. I was looking at it going, okay, these are all these things. I gotta let go of this stuff.
Yeah.
To get somewhere.
So that, I guess, in that regard, it could be
forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, this is good work. You got great work. First off, you got great work.
Thank you.
Let's just say that.
Thank you.
I'm going to put the next piece up and probably have to reboot the whole thing again. Ron's frozen again anyway, so
Yeah.
What's the point? Hey, thanks for coming to do this. What made you want to do this anyway, knowing how wacky this show is?
This is the only, I think, kind of space I'd feel okay talking about my work. I think if it were in a more serious context, it would really trip me up. But and I know I've known Ron for a few years now, so.
We are a serious show. Ron wants to be more professional. He even said so.
I do. I want to be more professional. I want to stop cussing on the page or on. Did you see those shows?
Well,
how did I come off?
Well, Ron, I think the first thing that needs to happen is you need to get new internet.
Oh, this has gotten very personal. I can't afford anything but what I have.
I'm not even going to say anything.
Thank you.
Oh, whoa. Okay, all right. Well, there you go.
Yeah. I'm 50% indigenous also, and you know what? Mm-hmm. Man, the man is always coming down on us. Telling me, get off my land, get better internet service. It's always something. What the heck do you want? It's terrible.
Yeah.
Hey,
all right, but that we digress because I wasn't being professional there.
I changed the art now. I'm getting mad again because the art's not showing, and I don't know why.
Man, Tim, what's the matter with your show? Maybe you need a better internet.
No, dude, something's going on with the program that it's not like throwing the new art up. I'm going to reboot again. Here we go.
This could be a host problem, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations on getting in there. Man, that is. Are you going into the MFA program?
Yeah, for drawing and painting.
Awesome! I'm so happy for you. It's a game changer in your life.
Are we all back?
Yeah, and you know what? It's kind of funny that you were talking about how back? You've kind of.
Okay, Ron, are you back? Yes, there's Ron. All right. Okay, let's see here. I think. Here's the art. Okay, I'm getting it. Okay, there we go. I guess I have to reboot every time when I change the art. Because that kind
we're like a residential hotel. We pop in, pop out.
Hey, man, we're all good. No, it's all good. It's worked out. It worked really smooth. And this is.
Oh, this is the. Oh, this one here I like too.
Yeah, See? This one. Yeah,
I like this one.
The Black Panther. Now, what's going on here? And I'm gonna let you go ahead and just take over.
Yeah, I'm glad that y'all saw that. This one I finished kind of around the time that all of the protests were going on for BLM last year. And for me, it was kind of an ode to everyone who was working against the systematic oppression. And so it was hearkening back to Black Panthers and the work that was put in decades ago, and then also this panther breaking through this idea of incarceration and being locked up and putting into a system that just hates all people of color. I was trying to create kind of a circle here in that when we talk about like systematic racism, it's very cyclical. It occurs over and over. And so this panther was kind of breaking that cycle. Yeah.
I tell you right now, in Georgia, they're trying to recreate that cycle. My God, they're not going to let you vote.
Yeah, I saw that.
The Black Panthers have a huge memory for me because I was a child when it was going on, really good in the late 60s, early 70s. And then I remember like mid-70s, I wanted to get myself one of those black leather jackets. And my mom wouldn't let me because she goes, "You're going to get shot."
It is probably wise advice on your mama's part.
I was like, you're not getting one of those black leather jackets. No, you're not. I was like, I want black leather jackets.
Jimmy Newton looked cool in it.
Dude, those things were sweet.
Yeah.
So sweet. I was like, I want one of those black leather jackets.
You remember in the classroom, Kazemi, that big white chair I had in there? You remember the picture of Huey Newton in this white throne?
Chair,
yeah, and he's got his spear. I found that chair out on the road one day, and I picked it up because to me it spoke. I went, "Holy shit, Huey Newton! Somebody threw his chair away!" And so I picked it up and I took it to school with me, and that was my throne, man. I was like.
Yeah, this piece spoke to me immediately. It was not even a hesitation. I was like, "Oh, I got this one. This one speaks to me." Yeah, right on. Well, we haven't talked about your execution, but your work, like Ron said, is impeccable. I mean, are we working here with graphite? What we got going on here?
Yeah, we're working with graphite. The different ones like 4Bs and 2Bs and all of that, a range of them. But thank you. I really appreciate it. Had always, I think with the direction that art goes, a lot of times there's been a focus on digital, and I appreciate what can be done with digital stuff in that format. But I think for me, drawing has translated what I'm trying to say best.
Yeah, I see what you mean. For me, drawing is it's a more immediate response.
Yeah.
It's like I see it and I can draw it completely immediately. And then there's that satisfaction. I was just wondering because we live in this technology-based. I mean, I'll swear. I got to confess this. 1982, the digital art is just starting to break the surface. And I remember sitting in a classroom, and there was a teacher, became a really good friend.
Oh no.
Yeah. I mean it, man. Anyway, he's coming right back. He's going to come back with the teacher, so here we go.
Hey.
I was just going to go.
You guys can pay for my internet.
Coming back with the story. Here it comes.
Okay.
No. But I was just going to say, when it came out, I was just like going, it'll never take place. It'll never take. I had a lot of animus to it. To a machine doing what I believe only a few could do. I've definitely grown from that attitude. But do you ever feel a little bit self-conscious about being what some people considered a conventional artist?
All the time. Especially when so many of my peers who are creating work are, in the very least, kind of doing multimedia work where they're incorporating all kinds of really interesting mediums. And I'm like, well, shit. But also I don't know. I am one. I like black and white, personally, and I don't know. Looking at this particular piece too, I don't know that I would want it to be translated in color.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think it would have the power.
Oh no, the power is in the black and white.
The composition is cool because I immediately read that open handcuff on the upper right, as again another hidden symbol. Not so much the handcuffs and talking about incarceration, but it was another hidden symbol that was presenting itself, but you had to be open to it and see it. For me, it's just like I try to see that thing that is really happening inside of. I want to see what you see, and in doing that, I just see a reflection more of myself, which I think is really interesting about your work, is that it's easy for me to find myself looking at this thing and seeing it for what it is, and then finding that a meaning myself, that finding my interpretation in there. Yeah. So, even when I saw it, I'll tell you, it's experience. I saw the Black Panther, and I immediately thought of Maya art.
Well,
You know,
I can just
because
say
the panther is a strong image in Mayan art. You know, and in Maya culture. So I looked at that, and I don't know. I just saw it as a powerful. It is a powerful symbol.
well,
And
I can just say the minute I saw the Black Panther, especially with the open handcuffs
mhm.
and then the barbed wire behind it, it was like it really spoke to me of Soviet style propagandist art.
Mm.
In that here is the representation of what would be Black people or people of color breaking out of the shackles of society, especially with the barbed wire in the back, which was always a thing. But everything was fenced off from you. It spoke to me immediately, and I was like, oh, okay, this one I can understand right away.
Yeah, and I also put, the full moon in the background, and
Yep.
that, it almost as the universe's way of telling you to, like, this is when we act. When the moon is full, there's all this energy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the moon is gonna be full like either tonight or tomorrow morning. Right on time.
Tonight.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Hey, so when you're working on something like this with all that graphite, is it messy?
I am using, general wood pencils, and I will always lay a paper underneath my hand because I'm left-handed as well.
Ooh.
So every time I draw, it's like, but because I put the paper underneath there, I've been able to save my work.
Has being left-handed changed the way you do work?
Have you always been left-handed? I mean, have you always been? Well, you know what? I can qualify. Wait a second. I can qualify that.
I actually, before I came on, I was like, I'm going to tell them I'm left-handed.
Yeah. It's like, to tell the truth. No,
it's a dirty little secret. Yeah. I'm left-handed.
Oh my God, you're left.
Yeah.
All right, we're stopping the show. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh God. I don't. Yeah. Okay. That's just great. But cool, man. I guess if you've seen any of my work on my page, I love black and white as well. I have stayed away from color because I find color to be a complicated matter. Which, not saying I don't do color, because I do some things in color, but I just know that there's more to it than just that. I really, really like strong composition and imagery. Yeah. And I think when you go with black and white, and as one artist told me a long time ago, because we see in color, the minute you do something in black and white, you've already changed the whole paradigm. You've already changed the discussion. Because color is our natural way of seeing things, and black and white is not. Right.
And sometimes even when I'm looking at my own work, it's like sometimes I want to turn on the color light or the color knob, and because I'm a little taken aback, kind of in the sense that you're saying where we're seeing everything in color, and then to desaturate. Absolutely does change that paradigm there.
Ron is frozen again. Yeah. Speaking of paradigms, and
it's a good
not change. Here he comes. Sorry, I think I almost have to tell him he's frozen because he doesn't know it.
Well, I can see myself move.
Here he comes.
Oh,
Ron.
I see myself, and I hear you guys. Ron? So yes, I'm here. Oh, son of a gun.
Ron, are you back?
Nope.
No, he left again. All right, never mind. We're gonna leave Ron out of this one.
Am I out of it? Am I still frozen?
No, you're fine.
Since Ron is having issues, we'll change the art now. Hey, I really want to thank you for coming. Your work is really incredible. I don't know how much we have in common, other than I saw when you sent us the work, it was all the black and white stuff. I did look at all your animal portraits, though. But the dogs, because I am currently right now working on a dog portrait and having a horrible time with my motivation. And I'm telling you right now, I'm getting paid too much money to do this picture because I had sworn not to do any more dog portraits at all. I was like, I had retired from doing dogma. I'm not doing it anymore at all because I was told that it was a whole world unto itself, which it is. As I learned, it is a world unto itself. And I swore not to do anymore. And then I had someone offer me more money than I could say no to. And so I'm doing one. But I'm having issues with my motivation because money has never been a motivating factor for me doing art. I mean, I would do art if I was dirt poor living on the street, which I did.
Mm-hmm.
And so
he froze.
He froze.
Yeah, you froze.
Anyway,
your internet sucks too.
I'm going to change the art right now, and you guys go ahead and discuss while I change the art.
I was going to ask you, because we were looking at this. Obviously, it's motivated by current events. It's a political painting, and I was just wondering, what do you think is an artist's commitment? What is our commitment? What is it we're supposed to do?
I don't know. I struggle with that because I think some artists definitely have a platform that they can use to spread awareness about particular issues. But also, I know that historically artists have been used to kind of articulate what is happening in any given time period. And so I don't know if it kind of goes into what Ted was talking about, where it can, when it's driven by money, I think it can take that desire to want to do something out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Really,
the freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if also though, if people are doing things for notoriety and not because it's something that they truly care about, that also creates that difficulty. So,
it's a complex position to be in, because the things that you're talking about I've always dealt with, and I've always told myself, like earlier when I was much younger and doing it, I have to say that there was a bit of the push to be known for what you're doing, to get the maximum amount of exposure, and as I've gotten older, that doesn't seem to be, well, because I guess once I became a teacher, I stopped doing it, for a while. You found yourself distracted heavily, but I found a new love. I mean, it was something that I could integrate into my work. But, I kind of wondered, what is my commitment? And, it's kind of funny when I was thinking about it today. Have you ever seen Ran, the Kurosawa's Ran? It's a Japanese film, a samurai movie.
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
Beautifully done. You should see it. I think it's on Netflix or Amazon. But a beautiful, beautiful movie. And in it, there is the samurai chief, and he always has his court gesture there. And the court gesture is there to torment him. And he does it in an artful way. He's dressed in colorful clothes. He's got a little ponytail at the top of his head. He's always mocking the samurai chieftain. And I thought, I says,
Ron? Amanda? Is everyone frozen, or is it just me?
There's no Ron.
There's Ron. Oh goodness, Lord! Ron is a good movie, though. You should. It's a great movie.
Like RON.
No, RAN.
Oh, RAN.
Yeah.
RAN.
RAN.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kurosawa. Really excellent movie. And
it's a take on Shakespeare.
So you mean You didn't hear anything I said?
You started to describe how he was mocking people.
Yeah, and in some ways, while I was leveling out my backyard, I thought that's the job of the artist. You know, we are the court gestures. We don't have any power whatsoever, but our job is to expose the emperor's nakedness.
I like
You know,
Yeah.
So, see, man, I don't know. You know, oh, wow, that's so. Because my art. Okay, my poetry is full of politics
Mm-hmm.
and full of society issues. Where my art has always been the escape for me. It's always been like, here's my conversation with me. I don't give a fuck about you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I never like looking for popularity. I never cared. Like when I met Ron, I had not shown anywhere ever. Like I just did not want to show my artwork anywhere. And Ron was like, "Oh no, you got to show." And I'm just like, "Why? I don't. I'm doing this so I can survive living because I hate it here. I hate these people.
Yeah.
I just want to go home and draw, and they can all, I'm not going to even say what I was going to say here, but they can all just go.
Yeah, you already said it.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Say it again. Yeah.
Anyway, you already know how I feel about it. So, I'm just so saying it here is just like, so for me, art has always been like this competition with myself and the conversation with myself.
I'm not saying it needs to be political because, this is just one instance. So when we look at Amanda's bulk of her work, it's really about, it's autobiographical.
Yeah.
So, and my work is autobiographical. I mean,
isn't that the circumstance? Wait a second, hold on. Isn't the circumstance of your existence political in itself?
Well, if we're going to go there now, Ted.
I'm just saying.
Let me go get a six-pack.
Is it not that? Is it not?
Yeah, but I'm just saying that an overt topical piece, and I've said this out openly in an academic setting where I says I don't like overt topical work. I just don't. If I want to read the newspaper, I'm not going to. That piece of art is going to have to get out of the way so I can read the type. But yes, every work is political because we're social creatures and we're in constant interaction, more so now than God I'd ever want to be anymore. But if your work is you live in the world, you live in the world, and by that nature, it's political.
We're getting lost here, but I want to talk. We got to talk about this piece just for a second.
What are you saying?
We got lost, and we never even got to talk about this piece. We're going all over the place. I got eyes coming at me from up and down. I think this is a piece that has no right side up, or I didn't know if there's a right side up or not to this piece.
Which one are we talking about?
The one that's on the screen right now.
That's the next one.
Yeah. Well,
she had four pieces as opposed
that
to three.
Split image. How do you do that? That split image look.
Well, the irony in that what you all were just talking about is that this piece is called Perspective, and it really is touching on the same issue, right? But like, yes, are you viewing it politically? Are you viewing it as a semblance of just our general existence? And it's right side up with the strawberries. Right side up. That is the only thing. The only thing.
Only give away the strawberry.
What do you mean? I'm looking at it upside down?
If the strawberry is upside down, then you're looking at it upside down.
Okay. Yes. Makes perfect sense now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the strawberry, which is in the center, which you say you don't want people to look at the center.
Yeah.
Damn, Kazemi, that's hand drawn. It almost looks like it's been copied and pasted. I would actually bet money that's what it was, but it's hand drawn. That's the amazing part to me. The texture in those wings are just makes me want to just grab that bird and squeeze it.
How much compositional layout do you do before you start?
Oh, so much. I do at least like 5 to 6 thumbnail sketches before I start. Because originally I had thought about just having kind of one bird and, you know, elements that were mirrored on either side of the bird, but then I didn't really like that. And so I really had to play with it. And you know what's interesting too, though, about this piece is that despite me trying to make the image mirrored on either side, if you really look at it close, there are things that are not in the right place. It is ever so slightly off, which at first bothered me, but I think now I kind of like it more in that it feels just.
Well, whoa. Why did it bother you?
I think it bothered me because I wanted it to be completely mirrored except for this one strawberry. But I realized that because, you know, while creating this piece and it's supposed to be being about that perspective, not everything is the same on either side. So I think it had to grow on me, but it was more I had to learn the lesson of what I was creating in the message and what I was creating.
What is the message?
Really about perspective, and that we're looking at really the same thing, but if you were to kind of cover with your hand half of it and look at it as a bird kind of coming down this way, and then you were to cover your hand and look at it as the bird going the other way, it's a completely different image. And this piece is more just speaking on how we're all kind of revolving around an issue, a topic, whatever it is, around the same thing, but how we see it can be so substantially different, and how because of our personal experiences and the lenses that we have based on what we've experienced and been through in our lives.
So is the strawberry the topic?
Yes. Right. Yes.
So you say it around your frozen, just to let you know, but you can come back. You know, because when you say that, and I look at this, I think of like the yin and yang symbol.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, is that what's going on here? Are we trying to get that kind of symbology going on in here that, you know, that it's all really interconnected and yet so much the same?
Yes. Absolutely.
It is. It's, you know what? They're so close. The halves are so close, is that you accept that they are, because of the strawberry and the birds, you accept that everything is the same on both sides. Right. And when you look at it, like you said, the halves, you can see that they're just subtly different. It's so subtle. Mm-hmm. Man, I wish I had that kind of subtlety.
Many people do, Ron. Many people do.
Sorry, the way I was
raised. Many people wish you had that kind of subtlety. Oh my God.
I know.
Man, you know, we've already went an hour.
Wow.
Man, we're going to keep going. I'm not going to stop this one. This one's going to be a longer episode because I still got a little bit left here. Hold on.
Oh wait, can I grab myself another?
Yeah, you go for it, Amanda. Go grab another. Right. Go for it. Go grab a beverage. This is a great episode. All right, this is good.
This is fun. Yeah, I like this. I like her work.
Yeah, her work is. I mean, and she's back. Okay, good.
I really thought you would like her work.
Yeah, the minute she said she did thumbnails, I was in, because that's what I do. I do a lot of thumbnails for composition, because for me, like I said, since it is black and white, composition is like key. So absolutely key.
Yeah.
I mean, composition is everything.
It is. It really is. And I was thinking about that the other day because in one of my classes, that was what we were focusing on, was composition. And I was thinking and reflecting on pieces I've done when I was in high school. And I was like, you know, my skill set was pretty okay, but like my composition was shit. and it really made a difference in in how viewers looked at it.
Ron,
Am I frozen again?
No, you're.
Oh,
Jesus.
I was just thinking about what you're saying. I'm listening to you, and I'm just wondering. I got my work is now called raw art. It's the weirdest thing. I've never had my work actually identified. They said your work is. I told you that I got the teaching job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at the gallery, and the lady hired me without seeing me. She said, but she thought by looking at my work I was younger. What a tragedy for her, huh? Can't use that old ageism on me now.
You're in.
And so she,
yes. What is that saying about the art, though?
I don't know. Well, at first I thought, well, is she saying my work is immature, or is it's the style? Basically what she was saying, the style looks energetic and young.
Yeah.
So and there's that bizarre quality to the things. That's why I'm a fan of David Lynch's artwork. Have you ever seen his artwork?
I don't think I've seen David Lynch's artwork. I've seen his movies.
Yeah. Well, you see his artwork, and you'll know why he is essentially an artist. He became a film director and film writer, but he is really an artist. So, and that's what I love about him, because he's not one of these people in film who decides I'm going to have a career change and I'm going to be like Jim Carrey. I'm going to be an artist now. It's like I hate interlopers like that. But anyway, sorry, Jim. I liked you in Ace Ventura, but but he was essentially an artist first, and you can see that surrealistic quality in all of his films. I mean that disrupted kind of chaotic timeline and odd images in the work, or just disparate images in the work.
We've got to. I'm going to get Ron some fiber. He needs fiber, and I'm not talking Metamucil. I'm talking like fiber network.
Yeah.
I drink beer.
I gotta get him on time here.
I drink beer.
Okay, and Ron, is he back?
I'm here.
Anyway, so are you gonna? Ron, you're back.
Yeah, I know I am.
Okay, so
Jesus, it's Easter. We're coming to my day.
So since
I don't know when it is.
Actually, Palm Sunday tomorrow. Palm Sunday.
Jesus, I've been a Catholic my whole life. I can't say, I'm born a Catholic, and I was an altar boy. I was a damn good altar boy. I had that mass down in Latin, but you know more about that than I do. I still have to ask my friends, what's today? Palm Sunday.
Yeah, it's Palm Sunday tomorrow, my man. Tomorrow. Anyway. Oh, you made me forget. I actually forgot where I was going. That never. Oh my goodness, Lord! What happened here?
You're welcome.
Ron, I just gotta say, I really enjoy this menacing face behind you.
Oh man, that's a self-portrait. In fact, I'm actually in it. At the bottom, between the legs, is a picture of me. But that's supposed to be Ishii, who was the last of the Modocs that, what's his name, who did just an awesome, comprehensive work on all the tribes in California, and I forget what his name is, but they came up with he's in the movie also, but this guy, he was the last of the Modocs. Back in 1910, they actually had during deer season, For $10, if you killed a Modoc, they'd give you $10 for it for each Modoc you killed, and they eventually wiped out all of the Modoc in Northern California. It's a whole. I mean, these are stories that I can't believe that they're part of our American idea.
Why can't you believe it?
Because it's so horrific that it goes beyond. It goes beyond the pale of it defies all logic.
Man, there's nothing about American history that defies.
No, I understand it. I'm just saying that those are stories that most people don't hear and don't read about. Those small stories about people that have existed and no longer exist. Whole peoples. I mean, I'm not talking. And the funny thing is, they say, well, Native Americans still exist. I was going, no. Every single tribe was a nation. And some of those in regions do not exist anymore. So those bloodlines, that legacy is non-existent.
See, the reason why that doesn't even get to me really is because when I sit around with some of my white friends or other friends even my friends from Mexico, they can trace themselves back to somewhere else. I have Alabama and Mississippi. That's as far back as I can go. I can go back to Alabama and Mississippi, and that's it. We're talking about 3 generations. It ain't going no further back than that because there are no records.
Yeah, but my point is to you is there are some people that have no one to recollect any lineage. They don't exist. That's what I'm talking about.
Well,
they do not exist.
I don't think of my lineage as existing though, because
no, but you are here to talk about it.
Yeah, but for sure as anything, I mean, I know black people didn't spring up in Mississippi and Alabama overnight.
No. There's actually a good. I just watched it the other day. He's a professor at Yale or Harvard, and he was giving. He said the funniest thing. It just cracked me up. He was talking about race relations in America, and he was going, "What? When white people ask me, what do I do about white privilege?" He goes, "You don't do anything. Just you're doing it. It's there." Don't do anything. And so
we have got way off track here. Where are we going with this? We're talking about art. Now it got all weird. Now you're going to get me all angry. I don't want to get angry. I'm drinking. I want to stay happy and talk about art. Anyway. And see, this is why I don't do political artwork. Mm-hmm. Artwork is my sanctuary.
I understand.
I rarely invite people to my studio to see me. I hardly ever let anybody be in the same room with me when I'm actually doing artwork.
Yeah.
Because for me,
that piece, that Permeate piece with the Black Panther, is probably one of the more political pieces, or blatantly political pieces that I've done, and it is scary. I think not because I wouldn't be proud to stand by that, but there, especially on social media, there's so many people who, despite the truth of what you can find that exists and the hatred that exists, there are people who will just spew out horrendous things, and but I do know that it's something that I wanted to give voice to. So
everything is like pushing me toward doing political work, but I don't know. We'll see. I got the poetry. The poetry is
and see, I don't know. I love to hear.
Ron, you're frozen. Go ahead, keep going. I love to hear.
I love to hear the verbiage that comes along with it, because that's something that I personally struggle with. Like I haven't ever really made the jump over into poetry or writing or anything like that. So to hear somebody write about that, in such a powerful way is always, I don't know. I think they're both super necessary, you know?
Well, yeah, yeah, I
Do
don't
you know who Carol Walker is, right?
Yeah, well, I do. But
Carol Walker. You know, it's funny because I was reading a paper that she wrote for a gallery opening, and she has become like the spokesperson for Black folk in America. You know, and she just went, "I'm sick of having to do this. I didn't sign up for this to become a spokesperson. I came up here to give a vision about how I see the world, you know, and how I am placed in it, you know." And so you got to get me to stop saying that. But when she said that, I mean, that was like the most refreshing thing I could have heard, because it is a burden when you are given that burden or you're given that status and you don't want it. You know, now there are other people who make political art because they want to get on a soapbox.
What do you have to answer it?
Answer what?
As an artist, you have to answer what the public wants you to say or respond to, I should say.
I don't know. That's a trade-off. I was who was I listening to? John Berger, and he was just saying you have to make that choice. You either want absolute freedom to do what you want, or you buy in, and then you become part of that system, and you don't get to do what you want to do. So what do you want? Do you want?
Where are you at, Amanda? Where are you? I see your work because I look at your work, and you're doing definitely some self-exploration.
Yeah.
But that in itself is, like I said before, it's going to be a political topic because you live in this society.
Yeah. You know, what's interesting, and actually, Ron, you kind of touched on it earlier. I think that my work can be perhaps a little bit intimidating to people because it is, I am putting literally what is happening deep inside of me in the forefront. And it's like, it's like if somebody wants to look at it, they're willing to take that deep dive into something very heavy and very personal. And I think that goes the same with political stuff. Is, it can be very scary to put it out there. And I think for me, if someone inquires and they want to know more, they want to learn more, they want to educate themselves more, whether it's about my personal experiences or a particular political topic, if they're there with the right intentions to learn and to get a better understanding, then I'm here to have those discussions,
Yeah, because that's what it's all about. It's about dialogue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, Ted?
Well, no, I don't want to hear any of you people. Anyway. Look, man, dude, it's a weird thing for me. I try to always stay in the background. I don't really need to be heard or seen or anything. I just want to get out of here as clean as I got in, which I know is just about as impossible. Well, I got nothing to say, really.
I mean, that's on the day for me though too, because some days I'm like, nah,
Yes, it is not. Well, I guess. Are you comfortable here with us then?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Good. I'm glad. Woo.
I'm glad.
I'm glad. Is that why you have that painting in the background? Yeah. To scare us all away?
Protecting me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my knife.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. No, I get it. And that's not a political painting.
Yeah. As I was looking at her after she said that, I get it now. The third eye cuts.
Yeah. It does.
Okay, I gotta wrap this up because I actually have a show that I'm producing at the Casbah that's starting in 45 minutes, and I think
is it a political show?
Yes, it's an all women's hip hop night.
What?
Whoa.
Yeah, you heard me. All women, female hip hop. It's all women's hip hop acts. Started the Casbah. Show starts starts at 8, but the stream they actually hit the stage at 8:30. But everybody,
it's streaming.
Can you give me a backstage pass?
Yes, you can stream this on Casbah Live.
Okay.
On Twitch. He's also on Twitch. That's a big part of the reason why we're doing this now is because I helped set up the Twitch channel for Casbah. And while I was learning all the things that we needed to do for that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this stuff and take it for myself as well and do things with things that I want to do. And this being one of them, meeting other artists and talking about art, because I love art and talking about art is fairly easy. And I know that artists, if you give them a right environment, they will talk about their art as well. And, maybe open up a little bit and just tell some stuff. Yeah. Ron is frozen. I want Ron to come back before we sign off, though. Ron, you got to come back before we sign off. But anyway, hey, your artwork is awesome, Amanda.
Thank you so much.
And do you like drawing the dogs? Just asking, on the side. Do you when you're doing the dogs, is that all love or?
Well, they're my dogs, so yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're drawing your dogs. So all the dogs you painted are your dogs?
Yeah, I have 3 dogs.
Okay.
How many dogs do you have?
3.
I didn't know that until right now.
You're like
that changes everything.
Yeah. My roommate has a dog, so total we have a house of 4.
Okay. Oh, okay. So that makes a difference there.
Yeah, that's different. Hey, you guys have nothing in common. It's not a lie, man. I am straight up. I'm only doing dogs on commission, man. There's no way in hell I'm just going to draw a dog randomly. And I only say that because it's not so much the idea I don't want to paint dogs as much as my pieces are experimentation with light and shadowing and using faces and body parts for such. Whereas dogs are almost impossible to pose for that kind of work. And then when you're doing work for other people, they want a drawing of their dog, not some shadowscape of what might be their dog.
It's more personal because there's you can feel their soul through their eyes, and if that is not seen in it, then it's like not your dog.
Oh, see, Ron?
I didn't mean to make you feel more pressure or anything.
Oh man. Yeah. That is it. It is always those finer details. It really is. With the dog, it is the little stuff around the nose and the details around the eyes. Mm-hmm. And then the ears have to be on point.
Yes.
God knows, if you get the ears wrong, you're done. You're just
eyebrows
done.
Too? The eyebrows
And the facial features.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, the dog's head shape, pretty general head shape. It's just the little details have to be right on the money.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Just let me know when you're done with the dog talk.
All right, dude. I can't. Hey, look. We're not gonna be done with dog talk until end of April. That's when I have to turn the piece over.
Okay. Am I frozen?
No, you're not frozen. We're gonna sign off though, because I got to run off to the bar.
Yeah, you got to go. All right. Amanda, it's so good to see you.
It's okay.
Hey, whose painting is that behind you?
This is my friend Nick's painting that we are that's on consignment right now. So we're just showcasing it in the house. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only seen the tip of it the whole time, and so I was getting a little bit disturbed by it because you had a little point on your head, and I didn't know want to bring it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was a crown. Wait a minute. It's actually
I was like, there's another arrowhead coming out of your top of your head.
Hey, also, I saw your power box that you painted. Looked good.
I just finished that up today. I got down there, kind of finished up the couple of other panels and fixed it and all of that, and so it's on Park Avenue between G and F. All
right, I'm going down there to look at it. I'll ride my bike down there and check it out.
Who are you doing that with?
It was.
Who are you doing that with? Is it
a group called Mindful, or an organization called Mindful Murals, and they partnered with the San Diego Museum of Art and SDG&E and took artwork that students submitted for the Young Arts competition and then distributed it to like 20 or so other artists to replicate it onto these boxes. Yeah.
Ron, come on.
No, I was thinking. All
right, you got something you want to do on a power box out there?
No. I go ahead and just do it. I don't ask.
That's like me when I was talking about painting on the trains.
I want to. There's a park bench over here. There's a bus bench over here. I want to just make like an installation that has tape on it with little signs and stuff, and it says, and then kind of half paint it and just say fresh paint, don't sit.
I think that's amazing.
No, it isn't, but it's fun.
I'm really into it. I like it's like had cut out some little pieces of. I took brown paper and I cut out little E's, like the letter E, and I told my students, I made you all some brown E's, and they opened up the little tray. They opened up the tray. And then they were so disappointed. But
that's cruel. That's cruel.
I love that kind of stuff, though. That's totally my sense of humor.
Here, I made you some brown E's. No, you literally are brown E's.
Literally brown E's.
Ron, get back out here so we can say goodbye. We really do got to say goodbye. We went way long, and I'm loving it. This was a good episode.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you so much for having me, though. Like I love talking about my work, but also just being here with you all tonight, other artists is, I don't know, it's always a special experience.
Well, if Ron comes back, I'm going to go ahead and say that calling us artists is like reaching, but
No.
See, I love being with other artists. I'm like, well, yeah, okay. You're the artist. We're just the other people in the room.
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, look, Ron, he's coming back. He didn't like that slander of being called an artist.
I know. Let's see. Oh,
here it comes.
I'm back.
All right, you're back.
So I was
Ron, she called you an artist. You don't have to take that.
Wait a second, I just spit all over my screen.
Hello, Ron?
I'm here. Am I not here?
Happened?
You're here.
I'm here. You're not here, Ted.
I can't hear him.
You're not here.
I can't hear him at all.
Oh.
Well, that's okay.
Ron, you're not here. Come back. You got to log out and come back again.
I can't. I don't have the button. The button disappeared.
We're going to have to sign out without Ron. This is not good.
Can he see me?
Okay, he's got. Yeah, but can you hear him?
I can hear it.
Yeah.
Now we can't hear you.
Yeah, we'll speak. Yeah, we can't hear you. Why don't we close it up? You got to go to work. I have nothing to do. I'm just going to sit around and eat brownies, and they're not going to be E's.
Yeah. Okay, you heard that. Okay, you heard my little story.
Yeah, I heard the whole thing. I was here. I was listening to it, so I can hear you guys. You just can't see me. Yeah. But I'm listening.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, no. I feel bad leaving, but...
No, Ted! I can't do anything. I have no buttons. I have no buttons.
You're muted.
Me?
No. Ted is. Still muted. Can't hear you.
Ted, look how intense he looks. When you take the sound off him, he's a much more intense human being. I think we just have him muted, but allow him to stare into the camera.
No, we can't hear you.
No, we can't hear you. Shut up.
I didn't say anything. That was all wrong.
Yeah, it's like dealing with God.
Oh?
Is he hanging up? Is he
hanging tight?
I don't want to leave him until he comes back. I lost all my controls over here. The last time I punched out. So when do you go up to? Are you going to live up there?
No, I'm gonna stay here. But I'm hoping I can fit my schedule in a few days so I don't have to drive up every single day.
Tell me, is it worth me going making a move?
Yes, 100%. I think this is somewhere that you would just thrive.
Okay, you sold me. I was going to retire. If this happens, I will. It would be the environment I wanted to work in. I think I've just gotten exhausted working where I work. Because
No.
I really enjoy it, but I wanted